So everyone who's coming today is getting their United States Chess Federation membership or renewing it. Thank you all for coming for that. I hope everyone appreciates it. We've been doing this for a few years. A couple of things I want to go over. We do have a lot of new faces here. For those of you who haven't been to this facility, we try to keep everything in this area. The games will be happening in the small gym just over there. So if you are a player, when it is time for your games to begin, we will come in and announce it to everyone. We will say round one, pairings are up. We post the pairings over on the walls. You will find your name, and it will have a number next to it. That is your board number. You will then go into the other room, and you will find your board number, and you will sit at the color that was designated on the wall chart. Pretty easy to do. Just find your name. It'll have a W or a B next to it, and you go sit at that color. Your opponent will come sit across from you. Pretty simple. Parents, coaches, you may walk with your student to the board to make sure, especially if they're younger, that they're in the right place and everything is okay. We don't really allow food or drink into the other room. Once everyone is seated, we will ask the parents to leave. You can take a picture in the first round or whatever with your son or daughter, and then we're going to escort all the parents out. The children will play the games on their own in the other room. When they are finished, they will come to the scorer's table, which you will pass on the way in. There's a table. We will have 1 or 2 people there taking score. You must stop at that table and tell whoever is there what happened in your game. You need to go there with your partner. You go together and you report, find your name, your board number, and you say if it was a win, a loss, or a draw. You both agree. Then you will go back to your board and set your pieces up in the starting position for the next round. Then you can come back out here with your team or your parents or whatever. Okay? So that's how the procedure works. You go to your board, go report your score, set your board back up in the starting position quietly because there will be other games happening. Then come back out here. You will then wait until the next round. You need to know your section because myself or somebody else will come out here yelling like a maniac, round 2, K3. When you hear me yelling, you'll know to look and go find your next round. Rounds are paired as soon as possible. We know children want to get started on their next game as soon as possible, and we know parents want to get things moving. So we will pair as soon as every game in a section is finished. We will pair the next round for you all. All right, a couple of other things you need to know. Notation. That is writing down your games. It is not required at this tournament, but it is definitely suggested. And we actually have the standard notation sheet that you're always used to if you've been to a tournament before to write down your moves. But for newer students to writing down the game, or younger students, we have a new notation sheet that has recently been approved by the United States Chess Federation for use in tournaments. It is slightly easier as it uses pictures. So instead of having to write the names and squares, you simply circle the picture, the letter, and the number. It makes it a lot easier for younger students who are interested in taking score. It is not required, so if you stop taking score in a game, there's no penalty for it. But there are certain draws you can't claim without this and a few other rules. But it is not required for this tournament. All right? And as with the notation or anything else in this event, if you have a question and you are a player, you need to raise your hand. And one of the tournament directors on site, as soon as they can, will see that hand and come over to help you. If you do not tell us, we cannot help you. If you have a question about what's happening in a game, or if your opponent did something and you are confused, or you don't know the rule, raise your hand and ask. That is why we are here. All right, there may be some new things for my new players in tournament you don't understand. For instance, we will be using chess timers or chess clocks in this event. Most of you have played with them, some of you have not. It's a very simple device. Your opponent may have one. If you have a chess timer, you may bring it. And you may set it down for play in the event. I believe it is game 30, delay 5 in all sections. No?
Game 20, delay 10 in the K1 section. Game 30, delay 5, I believe in all of it.
K1 is different. K1 is game 20, delay 10. All other sections are game 30, delay 5. So the K1 is a little different. Most K1s don't use clocks, but if your game takes too long, we do have clocks available on site, and we may come and put a timer on your game. These are to ensure that all of the games finish on time. Game 30 means each player has 30 minutes to make all of your moves. It's a lot of time for most of you. Most of you haven't taken an hour to play a game of chess, but if you do start to take that long, we will put a timer on the game to make sure it finishes. Delay 5 means the clock will not even start moving for 5 seconds. So once you press the clock, you have 5 seconds to make a move before you lose time. If you run out of time, the game is over. Again, it is not a race, so please use your time to think, but don't run out of time if you happen to use a timer.